about this. The environment has changed. There was a time where someone like you would have been I don't know if stigmatized is the word, but your profile wouldn't have been the classic, he's going to be a head coach profile.
I mean, we're right in those times.
Yeah.
People are still adjusting to, do people really listen to this guy? No, it's real. And, you know, I had obsessed about being a head coach for so long, and then I kind of got beaten down in terms of, like, there was guys surpassing me, and I was like, and then a confluence of working with Dan Quinn, and there's a group by the name of Vision Pursue, led by Russ Rausch, that kind of like, no. Ironically, the best way for things to progress is for you to stop worrying about that and just worry about your job.
Just go do your job.
And so then I started doing that, and I don't, with no ulterior motives of like, hey, I want to I let go of being a head coach, thinking that if I'm a master of this stuff, you know, it'll happen. But I truly didn't look at it like, okay, there's these jobs, let me prepare. And, you know, with the success that the people that I've worked with in the system and the stuff that Kyle was allowing me to do, and that having success and kind of having, you know, this was a homegrown, like people such as yourself, but then coaches and stuff that had known about me for a long time and known me as a worker. And I don't know if you felt bad for me, but I feel like you and a lot of people like were like, come on, you can do it.
Yeah. I just felt more like, well, you had been through some stuff, and we could get into that, but, you know, you alluded to, you changed your lifestyle, no drinking and all that. And you kind of, you know, as you put it to me, you went full Eminem and 8 Mile and decided, I'm going to own that.
So what's tricky is then you get the opportunity, oh, hey, this team wants to interview you. Well, I just spent a lot of time not worrying about the interview. So then all of a sudden, and it's during the playoff run, you're like, okay. And I didn't have time to really overthink the whole thing. And I had one opportunity, and I was very, I was looking at it like this. From a historical perspective, a guy gets an interview. Okay, now you got a real shot the next cycle.
Right.
And then, so that's the way I was approaching it. And then I did an interview over Zoom, and they asked me for a second one, and I got feet on the ground into Miami.
With your giant AirPods.
No, this was giant AirPods.
No, maybe that was after you got, that was, okay.
No, because I was wearing them, but what you're referencing is when I had the job, but it was the same AirPods.
Yeah, you got out of the plane, and your AirPods were not the tight little ones like that I wear usually on the show.
There was motivation behind that. I wanted to be known as the AirPod guy.
Did Apple call you? Like, that would have been right, because they got it for free. They're
exploitation at its finest.
It really is.
So that I'm not really thinking that way, and then I get feet on the ground, and I meet the people in the building, and Chris Greer's giving me a tour, and I had a bunch of background information from people that had worked for the Miami Dolphins. A lot of coaches have come through, and I'm realizing live speed that I'm like, this is everything I've ever wanted. You know, I'd been in 6 different organizations at the time, and I'm recognizing, like, this place has all the utility and just needs a head coach to fit within. You know, people don't understand, a lot goes into a football team, and you have to have synergy from coaching staff and players, but you also, all the support staff, and those are the ones that deal with players every day. That, you know, I've been in organizations where they have been a huge root of a problem, whether it's training staff, whether it's video department, whether it's the person, all this stuff. And I'm like, this is perfect. So now I'm like, oh, I can't mess this up. You know?
Now you're nervous.
It wasn't nervous. It was like hyper focused. Like, okay, you just worked 39 years. You got about 8 hours, dude. Bring it.